is The Michael Kay Show on ESPN New York, 98.7 FM. Here's Michael Kay and Don LaGreca.
4:02 in the big city. It is The Michael Kay Show, and McDonald's brings you a happy 4th of July with a $2.29 smoothie, frappe, or shake today. I'm loving it. We welcome in former head coach of the New York Rangers, now with the Vancouver Canucks. He's John Tortorella, and he joins us here on The Michael Kay Show. Towards Don LaGreca and Alan Hahn. How are you?
Very good, guys. Yourself?
Good. Michael Kay's got the day off, but to keep tradition going, he did want me to ask you a question. Will the Canucks win the Stanley Cup this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll be happy to hear that.
But what we had to do here, though, is bring in somebody that actually covered you as well. I'm sure you don't remember me, or maybe you do, because I did such a great job covering hockey back in the day. I was around a lot for your 2004 Stanley Cup run. There's a gaggle of us American media types that stick together. Back then, we were all hockey guys. And my favorite times were in the Calgary hotel lobby after you were done with some of the most spectacular media addresses, because we know how the Canadian media loves to ask questions. Mm-hmm. And it was the follow-up stuff to me and the small groups that we would have with you that were a lot of fun. It was great. And that was the travel was terrible for that Stanley Cup final, but it was a lot of fun covering you back then.
Yeah, the travel was really important, how you did it. That was a tough series, a real tough series as far as back and forth.
And they gave us a charter, which was nice of the NHL to do it that year.
Yeah.
I was doing NHL Live. I couldn't charter, so I was crisscrossing the country for that series. But let's talk about what went down. And Glenn Sather said in the press conference that you were taken aback and surprised by the firing. How shocked were you when he let you go?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't. I didn't think it was going to happen. You always think you're going to finish the job you're trying to set forth, and we played in 5 out of 8 playoff rounds the last 2 years, and there's always things you need to work on. There's always things the general manager is upset about at the end of the year, but I didn't think it was going that far, but it did, and you shake hands, you move on, and you go about your business.
Now, he said it was because you guys didn't win the Cup. Do you think that was the only reason you were let go?
Oh, I'm sure there are a number of things. I really didn't stick around and ask too many questions. Right. when your boss says, "We've had enough of you, you're going," I said, "Okay," and went back that night, grabbed my stuff out of my office, and then you just move on. It's part of the business. I don't have a bad word to say about the organization. I love working here. I love the people here and the players, and but this is all part of the business. This is what you sign up for when you get into it.
How was your relationship with Henrik Lundqvist in the end?
Really good, really good. I heard that bounced around a little bit, but I think Henrik kind of voiced his opinion later on about it. Henrik and I. Who I have a tremendous amount of respect for. The first couple of years, it was up and down. I demanded a lot of things out of him. A lot of things I thought were wrong as far as within the team concept, and I watched him grow. And I tell you right now, out of all the players I've coached, and as I said to Henrik, when all this was all said and done, there's not a player that I've coached that has prepared and competes as hard as he does. And so our relationship was really good at the end. I believe he'll say that too. I think people try to throw his name into the basket about running me out of here. I don't believe it. And but I guess, those are the things you end up wondering about. And no coach wants to hear a player talking that we want this coach out of here. No one wants that to happen. But you know what? Things happen, and so you just go about your business.
Do you think there were players that had a problem with you, or maybe a better question is with the system that you play?
Well, I don't know. I think no one said it to me. In those exit meetings, Donnie, they're really dangerous after the season. Your emotions are raw, and I'm not a big believer in them, but listen, I walk the fine line of how I push athletes and how I'm going to continue to push athletes. Some guys may be upset by it. Some guys may use it as an excuse. Some guys just may not like it, and they have a perfect right to voice their opinion. I sat in my office and no one said anything to me. And so, if that's the way it went about, so be it. It happens. But again, I gave everything I could to the team, and I thought we did some really good things, and I'm proud of a lot of things that happened with this organization and this coaching staff's tenure.
Do you think that Glenn was on board with your philosophy?
And that's part of it. That isn't a bad thing. Glenn and I had a lot of differences of opinion along the way, but we always talked them out, and as I said to him, I enjoyed working for him. I don't wish anything bad on him, the organization. I had a blast there. But you're going to have arguments and debates and difference of opinion. That's the way it is. But Glenn makes the final call. If he doesn't think that I'm the guy to keep on trying to finish this job, it's his call, and he made the call.
John, you spoke passionately about Brad Richards after he was scratched, and the organization decided to stick with him, go forward with him on the team. How do you feel about that?
I think it's good. I think Brad Richards, as I said, I think Brad Richards is a hell of a hockey player and still can be. I'm not going to explain some of the things that I think he needs to do to get back there. It's really not my job anymore, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. But Brad and I had a very frank conversation at the end of the year at the exit meetings, and I still think there's plenty of hockey left in Brad Richards.
How about Roberto Luongo? I mean, an amazing move by the franchise, by your new team, the Canucks, to trade Corey Schneider. Seems like there's a lot of faith now put into Roberto Luongo. What do you think of? I mean, he took a team to Game 7 of Stanley Cup Final. What do you think going forward with him now? Yeah,
I think he's a hell of a goalie. I've answered a lot of questions on that. I'm kind of the new guy kind of walking into that. It's a kind of a precarious situation with the goaltending situation, but both players, I thought, handled it very well last year. Everything, and I did talk to Roberto after the deal was made with Corey. We had a great conversation. We'll continue to talk. I'm just, I'm trying to piece it all together exactly what's been said to him and all the things that went into this. But watching him in the Olympics, watching him throughout his career, talking to people about him, he's a great pro and he's a really good goalie. So if I'm him, I look at it, all right, now it's clean, the slate's clean, I'm the number one guy, and he is, and we're gonna put everything on top of him, and I feel very comfortable with.
Talking to John Tortorella, coach of the Vancouver Canucks here on the Michael K. Show, ESPN New York, 98.7 FM. You had your run-ins with the media here in New York. You were honest on this show saying that it's not your favorite thing to do, to have to deal with the media and field questions from people that maybe, quite frankly, aren't as qualified as you to answer them. But now you're going to Vancouver where they invented the sport up there, man. So do you feel like you're going to maybe have to kind of change a little bit dealing with those guys day after day up there?
Yeah, even I regret some of the things. I'm not going to sit here and apologize. I think that's a lousy way to do it. I did what I did. I do what I do. I know, especially this year, some things kind of got blown out of proportion that I allowed to, that I put myself into the situation. And basically I'm being, that's all I'm being talked about as a guy that is with the media, not as a coach. And I think I put a couple of players in a bad spot this year that I really regret. So it made me think a little bit, certainly in the scrutiny of Vancouver and the province of BC, and the media coverage there, which is going to be intense. Yeah, I need to make some adjustments there, and I need to try to cultivate a relationship. And so I'm going to. It's worn me out. Just that's all I'm talked about is with the media, and I think I have other things to offer, and I certainly don't want to put the team in a spot, and that's what bothers me the most. I think I put a couple of players in a bad spot that I didn't mean to, but I did because of the way I did things.
What's funny, John, is that you're not like that in a lot of one-on-one situations. From my experience with you, I always felt like you were pretty engaging, and it was always interesting that once you're on the podium, I think you changed a little bit. I mean, have you caught yourself maybe in that?
Yeah. You know what? when someone tells you we don't want you here, you're fired, get out of here, you end up reassessing, and I do. You reassess how you went about things, and again, I'm not apologize for anything. But I do have to reassess, and as I've said right along here, and I've had hundreds of interviews, my emotion is a strength, and it's also a weakness in situations. And let's face it, I am not good after games. I am invested in the game, win or lose. Quite honestly, everybody does it. I know they have to do it. It's very hard 10 minutes after a game to sit and talk, whether you win or lose, because I'm already thinking about what needs to be corrected, what we did well. There are so many things going through your mind, and I'm not whining about it here because all coaches have to do it. I'm not good at it.
Talking to John Tortorella here on the Michael K. Show. What do you think you left? Do you believe that you did the best job possible? Do you have any regrets on how things went down, that maybe you could have done a better job here with the team?
You always want to. You always want to do more. You want to win a Stanley Cup. I mean, that's the bottom line. But I'm really happy about. I thought we changed the culture a little bit as far as with our young players, working within our organization, developing our kids, not always going out and signing the free agents and turning it into that type of situation. It changed around here. For some reason, because I didn't play Chris Kreider, I believe, a lot of people don't think I played the young kids. We played a ton of young kids. And I do. I hang my hat on that. I enjoyed working with them. I think they changed the whole landscape of what's going on here in New York. And I'm proud of that. I am. Not just me, but the staff, including Glenn, everybody that I work with. I thought we did some really good things here. And but, you know, sometimes they need someone else, or they feel they need someone else to finish the job, and that's what's happened here.
Now, everybody had to go through it, but the way you were designed, the way you wanted your players to be physically conditioned, with a number of players that did not play during the lockout, did you feel that you were at a disadvantage because of the 48-game schedule and the lack of a training camp?
Well, I'll put it to you this way, Donnie. I think our training camp is unique in where it's physical conditioning, but a lot of it, and sometimes the players don't even know, it's mental conditioning too. And did we miss that? Sure. I thought it was, and I was worried about when that was going on. I was so nervous about not having our camp. Now, I'm not begrudging the other camps. I'm sure all the other camps are really good, and everybody has to live through this. But I was concerned about that. But that certainly is no excuse. And again, I'm not going to say we were terrible. I thought we were one of the better teams at the end of the year. It seems like we get boxed in because of the expectations. But we had an awful year. We ended up being a 6th seed. We ended up winning 4 out of our last 5 games in the first round. We were one of the better teams in the last month of the season. So I liked what happened. The thing that I think if I had back to get a jump on that Boston series, and I'm going to tell you right now, Boston was a better team than us. Mm-hmm. And if people don't think that, they're crazy, because they were. And as you see, they go to the finals. But I felt we could have got a jump on them if I had my team a little bit better prepared mentally after emotional winning the last 2 games. Boston wins that crazy game in their building. And you could see both teams in that first game, it was like they were playing an exhibition game because they were coming off of that emotional high. And I even said it on NBC, and I think I got in trouble for it. Someone, I'm not sure what happened. They asked me, "What's this?" I said, "I don't know what this is." And that was an honest answer in that on the bench interview, because I didn't know, because it was so laissez-faire. It was just like an exhibition game. And I really believe we could have got a jump on Boston there, maybe try to get some momentum if we were better prepared to get ready to play your next series after an emotional first-round series. And I didn't do a good enough job there.
Now, I don't know if you looked at it this way, but I think a lot of fans did. I did. When I saw what they did to Pittsburgh in the next round, I'm sorry. Right. That had to kind of change it a little bit, because, it looked bad that you lost in 5 games. They swept Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh couldn't get a sniff at all offensively. So that kind of made things a little better, I would think.
Yeah, Boston's a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, look at them. They're deep. They could roll four lines. Now, losing Gregory Campbell hurt them a little bit there, because that fourth line was much more effective with him. But that's a deep team. We were hoping, at least I was hoping in the back of my mind, Rask being untested, how he was going to handle playoff hockey. And look what he did. I mean, he was really good. And that's a team it's a team that plays both defensively and offensively, a complete team right on through their lineup. So they deserve to go where they went to.
All right, honestly, can you tell the Sedin twins apart?
No, I've only met one of them in person. I've looked at, what I've done for the past couple of weeks is read the media guide trying to figure out the players in Vancouver. And I look at those two guys. No, I won't be able to. I hear they're great people, and I'm really looking forward to working with them.
Did you know Alain Vigneault very well?
I've known Alain, yeah, and I think he's a heck of a coach. Yeah, and he did a great job there in Vancouver as far as what's going on there. They've won divisions. They haven't got that final step. They were close 3 years ago versus Boston, and so really, Alain and I have talked right on through this, and we've had a few laughs with it also, as far as just kind of switching teams.
Yeah, it's never happened in NHL history. The coaches literally traded for each other, pretty much, is what it became. So you're part of history.
Yeah, well, he asked me a lot about the New York organization, and I didn't have a bad word to say, because it's a first-class organization, and he said the same thing about Van. And the general managers felt they needed a different voice, a different personality, and so the change is made. And so we're both very fortunate. We continue to work where there are a lot of good people that don't even have a sniff of getting a job right now that should. So there are no complaints on my end.
Worried about the Yankees? And are you going to be able to follow them out there?
Yeah, I haven't. This has been a little upside down for me. I really haven't followed them that much, but I know it's been a bit of a struggle. And now A-Rod's back with you in the minors.
Yeah, he's a rehab stint in Charleston in Single A yesterday. Went 0 for 2.
0 for 2. Now, is it true? Because I didn't hear it. Did Cashman throw a few F-bombs around him?
Yeah, he did. He pulled the torch. He did. Our Andrew Marchand called him up and told him that, because let's face it, you on Twitter would be a bad idea. For Alex, it is a disaster. And he tweeted out when he was coming back, Yankees were upset. And yeah, he said it.
God, that Twitter, I tell you, it is just, I can't even, I don't even want to go there. I better not go there.
But I gotta tell you, John, because I've seen a side of you, as Alan said, you're a really good guy. You're a good hockey guy. You always treated me fairly. I really enjoyed the time I got to spend with you, and I wish you nothing but success in Vancouver, and I hope we get a chance to talk to you again soon.
That is awful nice of you to say, Donnie, and I look forward to it. We'll stay in touch along the way, and I really appreciate you saying that.
All right, and maybe Larry Brooks will take a job in Vancouver and make it that much more fun for you.
Yeah, it'll be a blast.
Thanks a lot, Torts.
Take care.
All right, boys, take care.
All right, that's John Tortorella, head coach of the New York Rangers. I get ripped a lot on Twitter, people saying that I'm an apologist for John Tortorella, because I got to know him better than a lot of the fans do.
I've been like that, too.
And there is an image of him just being a bad guy, a mean guy. No. And he didn't completely rule out the possibility there may have been players that maybe did throw him under the bus. But you know what? He is a good guy. He can handle the media a lot better. Looks like he's recognizing that. And he's going to have to do that in Vancouver,
I think there was definitely contrition there, talking about how he handled things here in the media. But the pointing out, what he pointed out was he's still hot after games. He's still hot. But it's who he is. It's his personality. It's what worked. I think he's 100% right, Don. He did change the culture. He did change the atmosphere around the Rangers. Let's be honest. This guy has nothing to feel bad about for his years with the Rangers, aside from the fact that they could not win a Stanley Cup. But still, one of their best coaches, I'd argue, in the last 10 years.
Yeah, there's no question about it, and I think he's got a better image than I think was portrayed here in New York. 1-800-919-3776. We got lots to get to, including traffic on a very busy Wednesday.